What's up, everybody? This is Fray with WC Replays, bringing you my final audio copyright 2007 WCReplays.com. That's right, I'm quitting this gig, at least in the near term. I've been wanting to devote more of the time in my life to things such as playing music, and maybe like looking for a new job in the game industry and stuff. I've been programming and defense for a long time, and I don't know, I'm just kind of ready for a change and stuff, so hope you understand. I hope you'll miss me. I'll miss you. I'll still be around, playing Warcraft, probably posting random crap in the strategy forums, that kind of thing. So it's not like a complete farewell, but I think I'm going to be taking a break from the audio business. Anyhow, get this game paused at the 2-minute mark from Ghost Op's point of view, and this would be game 1. I'm going to go ahead and split the commentary into several sections so that, if you want to watch one game and resume later, you won't have to, listen through 20 minutes of my crap to find the exact moment that you left off before. We have the technology to handle this sort of situation. It's called making 2 MP3 files. So, yeah, this is game1.mp3. I'm sure you guys have figured this out. It's very intuitive. So, yeah, 2-minute mark, Ghost Op's point of view. Hopefully you've got this pretty close to synced up. He basically, in the first 2 minutes, is going for a TED-style build. At least I think it was TED that really started these kind of fiend builds where you go for an early hero. I'm sure they've been around since the dawn of time, but he's recently kind of popularized them. Anyhow, yeah, you go for your early Death Knight, and you get later fiends, but you go 3 ghouls generally for a very fast tech. And you hope to mitigate your early harass, and fast tech will hopefully make up for the fact that you don't have as many fiends and as much creeping power. This is in contrast to what used to be kind of the standard fiend build, which is the Philbot build, where you just went 2 ghouls with the very early graveyard and just started creeping right off the bat. Basically, most races are able to counter that by just expanding all over the damn place at the right moment, and there's not much you can do about it. Except Orc. It's still good against Orc. Anyhow, let's get this unpaused in, at the 2-minute mark, Ghost Op's point of view, in 3, 2, 1, unpause. Okay, this is also, if you watch, you can actually watch this from the observer point of view. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. Here is the dreaded Paladin first strategy. Everybody loves to hate this. It's actually very, very difficult for undead to beat. In fact, I think it's just kind of one of the nastiest new strategies out there. It almost leads one to believe in some cases that maybe undead isn't nearly as imbalanced against human as we all once thought, and that human actually has a pretty good chance. Here's the gist of it for those not already familiar. Right now, I'll mention as to what's going to be going on with the action. TH000, I'm going to call him Thu, because I don't really know how the hell I'm supposed to say his name, and just reading out the letters is too damn long. Basically, what he's going to do with his Paladin is kind of try to chase that Death Knight off long enough that he can sneak away somewhere and creep without the Death Knight coil stealing his stuff. Really, the Paladin strategy has been around for a while. Everybody knows Paladin is pretty damn strong against undead. He's got good nuking power, and once he gets level 4, so he's got level 2 Holy Light and level 2 Divine Shield, he can absolutely make a mess out of your acolytes, and there's just nothing you can do about it. It's very, very frustrating. Anyhow, it's kind of been around for a while, and in most cases, it seems to be like previously the best course of action was for the undead to go for at least get a lot of ghouls early and put a lot of pressure on the human player, just because the Paladin, while he is pretty strong in general, is not quite as good at dealing with an early undead force of Death Knight ghoul skeleton as the Archmage is, since the Archmage has the water elementals and is able to dish out a fairly obscene amount of damage to a single ghoul very quickly. However, basically what TH Thu has kind of added to the mix, at least I think he's the one that started all this, is he throws in mercenaries and often makes heavy use of militia, although he's not really doing so this game. I think that kind of depends on how much he gets left alone by the undead player in the early portion of the game. I think if he can get the Death Knight to go away, he will actually militia creep. It's just that the Death Knight is around, he'll end up blowing all his mana, trying to keep him alive, or he'll just lose a bunch of militia, either, which sucks. But you can see, actually, if you watch Thu's creeping, it's more interesting, really, than what Ghost Top is doing. He managed to creep out that fairly, large mercenary camp with just 2 footmen and a paladin, using partly the mercenaries he hired while he was in the middle of creeping it. Let's see. Basically, Ghost Stop, on the other hand, spent the early part of the game harassing, as undead players are going to be wont to do with this strategy. The gist of it is that you harass with the Death Knight until you've got about 2 or 3 fiends out, and hopefully keep your opponent to level 1 while you do that. And then once you get your fiends out, if it's desirable for you to do so, you can back off and start creeping. And you can also do cute stuff like pull your ghouls off a lumber for a little while and use them and the fiends that you've made to multitask creep. Here's, however, where Ghost Stop's innovation starts. If you look by the tavern, he's using a skeleton to hire the Dark Ranger. Now, the significance of that is really has to do with making his relatively early pushes a little bit stronger. Granted, a Lich is pretty good, but once a Lich has blown his 2 initial Frost Novas, he's not going to amount to much. Plus, the Dark Ranger also comes out like right away. I believe Ghost Stop trained Silence first, with the interest of silencing the Paladin right before it was either like about to pop a shield or about to Holy Light something. And he's also, since the Paladin's got such a good force with him, and it's not really something Ghost Stop can beat right now. Something like 6 footmen and some mercenaries. Don't try and take that off with 4 fiends. Just do what Ghost Stop's doing here. Back off and creep. And you can get kind of creative with this. This is all fairly new strategy. I don't know if doing so is necessarily canon, but it was pretty effective. He basically used his Dark Ranger to keep the human player busy a bit while he backed off and goes to kind of creep his Death Knight up to level 3. Death Knight at level 3 is pretty helpful. You really kind of, in order to be able to counter the Paladin's level 2 Holy Light, like nuking your units, level 3 is definitely pretty helpful to have on your Death Knight. Otherwise, just that level 1 coil may not heal the unit back high up enough to really keep it alive for very long. Plus, it's going to give him a little bit stronger nuke. Because one of the ways that you can help kind of deal with the Paladin, you're probably not going to kill him, but like the Blade Master, he's one of those heroes where sometimes, even if you can't get a kill on him, the best thing that you can do is just get him to leave you alone for a little while. And really, the more damage that you can put on the Paladin before he escapes, the longer it's going to take him to recover, so that can be pretty helpful. Look at Ghost Stop's base here. He's getting pushed. This really sucks for him, and there's not a whole lot he can do about it. Basically, all he's doing, it's very important that you use your ghouls whenever you're getting pushed like this. And you can just kind of run your acolytes around and try to keep them alive for as long as possible. But if you look at his base structure here, what he did is he built a whole bunch of ziggurats around his gold mine, and with basically, they're like not right up next to each other, but they're one space apart. This basically means that ghouls, footmen, skeletons, and small units like that can get through, whereas the Paladin cannot. Now the Paladin, the reason he's back there, he actually staffed his way in. And he basically staffed his way into one of his footmen, and that's how he got the Paladin back behind it. So realize that it's not totally going to keep the Paladin out, but it does slow him down a little bit. For a Fiend build like this, it's very much a double-edged sword, because your Fiends can't actually get back into where the Paladin and other stuff are killing off all your acolytes. So that was fairly unfortunate, but at least it basically meant that the Paladin had to do tricks with his staff just to get back there, and that means that the cooldown on the staff is going to wear out, and he's not actually going to be able to escape unless he town portals out. So the whole idea is, well, there's nothing you can do really on this map to counter the Paladin